Hi class, so this is the next video on chapter 7. We'll be focusing on 7.4 water usage, which is a good follow-up to 7.3 water availability. So how do we use the limited fresh water we have on Earth, which remember is just 3%, but within that 3% there's a lot in ice caps, so not much left over. So I will share my slides. So again, try to watch before Thursday, April 16th. Still on chapter 7. So the major objectives for this section are to identify the major users of water and percent use, and also to empathize with the global population that live in areas not equally served by global water and sanitation, which we'll get to at the end. So based on 7.3, maybe the NASA video, what sector do you feel uses the most water? Agriculture, industry, or domestic? Give you a minute to think, or a few seconds to think. Okay, well, the answer is it depends on which region of the world you're in. And so globally, we say 70% of fresh water is used by agriculture. And so mostly agriculture is the largest user. Farmers, agriculture may disagree with this number, so be careful how do you use it. Though they might be using a lot of the surface water and even groundwater to grow crops, some of that surface water put back on crops recharges the groundwater, as we learned in the earlier parts of chapter 7 about unconfined and confined aquifers. So be careful with using this number, but it's a good relative understanding of how much is used, but some of it, of course, goes back into the water cycle and is recycled. And so, as you can see, as you get more developed, Europe, Central Asia, Europe has less agricultural use, but North Sub-Saharan Africa uses a lot of agriculture. So the U.S. isn't really on this map, but it's relatively the same percentages. And just a reminder from the video, a lot of electricity, a lot of water is used in electricity. This pie chart isn't like the percent of water used, but thermal power uses a lot of water. I mean, hydro it uses water, but might not consume it. But it definitely alters our rivers and sort of redistributes water, and so has a very big impact on our water systems, natural water systems. And so I research the food, energy, water nexus. I mean, there's also a very big synergy between water and energy. We use energy to treat our water, to distribute our water, and also we use water to create our electricity. So they're very much interconnected and should be considered together, and they can, electricity, in addition to agriculture, uses a lot of our water. Water withdrawals are not equal across the United States. And so as you can see, California, we're at the high end of water withdrawals, same with Texas. Sometimes states with less rain will have more water withdrawals. And so I like this graph. Again, like statistics can get confusing depending how you break it out and define it. So always look at their assumptions and how they created the data. This is from USGS about percent of water withdrawals. And this is water withdrawals by category. So I like how it has both irrigation and thermoelectric power to kind of see their relative percentages. So that's water usage by sector, but if we break down household water usage, which mostly we're concerned about and deal with on a daily basis, so where do you use most of your water in your home? Do you think like shower, toilet, faucet, clothes washing, leaks, or other? So remember, like clothes washing and even dishwashing might use a lot of water at one time, but you might not be doing laundry every day necessarily. And of course, this varies by person, household, socioeconomic status, and by state. So I have a nice video. You can think of this question as you watch the video about how much water we use, and to be kind of mindful of that if you were to carry your water with you throughout the day if you used it. So making sure you're not running the faucet while you're brushing your teeth, you're turning it off. And I guess the amount of water we're using for hand washing now has probably increased. So hope you enjoy the video. Then we'll get back to some of the slides. Okay, so as you saw with the video, like we use a lot of water in household water use. This is more from the EPA about how much water we use at the household, like for 24% toilets, 20% shower, clothes washing 17%, faucet 19%. And I thought this was an interesting graph of the states, and I was surprised, how much, Idaho uses. Or like, we see the Western United States using a lot of domestic water use and how it varies across the United States. So another big thing in here that's not, I think, part of how we use household water is also our watering our lawns is a major use to consider. So it's nice to switch to more zero-scaping and things that use less water. Same with like pools, and like outdoor water use is a major water use. And so this is kind of, though the figures are lower, it shows kind of total water usage in gallons or in like percent use, and then water usage with water efficient fixtures. So I mean, this is again 2001, so we've actually gotten these numbers a bit lower. But it shows the importance of using water, efficient appliances, low flush toilets, Energy Star appliances for, washers and dishwashers. But we do need to be careful with some of the technology. It's really greatly improved, but say low flush toilets, you might keep flushing and using more water because it's not very good at flushing all your waste. So we kind of went over the major uses of water and percent use. So we need to think about the last objective about global populations that don't necessarily have the same access to water. We'll get into this in future chapters, but there's millions of people that lack access to clean water, even more that lack access to sanitation in the world. And so imagine that video about carrying your water is not actually like, just a myth of, a fun kind of concept to think about. I mean, where I was in Peace Corps in Mali and many places around the world, women are fetching water from wells, from pumps, and having to carry it. So when I was in Peace Corps, I used a lot less water just because I didn't want to carry as much I would carry it on my head and fetch it from the well. So I would use like half a bucket of water, like probably, I don't know, 3 gallons, 2 gallons. I think of it in liters, like 10 liters of water just to shower, just so I didn't, have to go out, or if it was rainy, or if it was late at night, so I'd have to store my water and think about it that way. So we use, 100, an average per person, I think, it's like 100, 120 gallons per day. The US is pretty high, especially compared to Europe. But when we're thinking of basic access in this graph, like really what the standard is that you need, to live and cook with, drink is like 20 liters. So convert, gallons to liters, you can do that. It's a very small amount of water, and we kind of, get away with using a lot of excess. So it's good to think of that in when you're consuming water, and trying to reduce your use. And hopefully the water footprint quiz was enlightening about how much you use water. And so also a reminder, when you're using water, you're not just using water, it's the electricity, it's the chemicals that treated the water, and everything to bring it to you. So you're not just wasting water, you're wasting energy and other resources. So hope you were able to attain these objectives. Let me know if you have any questions in class. So see you on Zoom or the next video.